Okay, I'm back with another video on making horrible mechanical amalgamations inside of blueprints. This is a minimal, heavy modular frame factory, and I'm going to attempt to cram this into this. This is a 5x5. I would like to maybe try doing a 4x4 with this sometime, but that's going to be an awful tight fit. So I'll just do a 5x5 because by the time we can make a manufacturer, we're already making Mark II blueprint designers. So, and I am using two alt recipes in this. I'm using cast screws in this one over here. Cast screws to make 48 per minute. And then I'm also using the encased industrial pipe so that I don't have to have an extra constructor making beams. Because the manufacturer making the heavy modular frames, it wants steel pipes and it wants beams. So I'm already making pipes, and there's no reason for me to make steel beams if I can just convert the pipes directly into encased industrial beams. So that kind of is a little bit of a cheat, with what I said in my other video about trying to do these without alt recipes, but this is my first iteration of a heavy modular frame factory in a blueprint, and so I'm just going to do it the easier way. Maybe I can do the more challenging one later. But so this is the first part of my process. I've learned that what you do when you want to do this packing thing is you make a flat version of the factory first. And you actually bring the materials to it. You make sure that it works. You let it run long enough to confirm that the numbers that you have put in these machines is resulting in an acceptable efficiency output. It's at 95%. That's because I'm using totally exact numbers for everything flowing in here. So I would have to wait a very long time for it to get up to 100%. I would have to wait for belts and machines to fill up because I'm using like the manifold. I don't use load balancers. What you can do to mitigate this is I believe you can actually set the blueprint to have the manufacturer already loaded with these ingredients so that you don't have to have the long spin-up time. But in this case, I'm going to just accept the long spin-up time and this is, proof of concept like my other video. And my cat is screaming at me. Okay, so I've confirmed that it works. Everything's going in the way I want it to. Now I'm going to start the packing. Now, here's a really cool aspect of why we make a flat version first. You can literally just, you have to be closer than that. Okay. I can just middle mouse click and then get a copy of that manufacturer with the numbers that I put in it. So I can make exact copies of all these machines without having to redo the math on them and just shove them in here. The hard part is going to be figuring out what to do with the belts once these are all in here and how to lay these out inside the blueprint designer. So I'm going to... I'm actually going to have the manufacturer on the bottom floor because I kind of like being able to have the exit be on the bottom floor. So let's see. In order to... I think I'm going to have that come out of this wall, this conveyor. There's going to be a conveyor wall here. So, and I can't center it here. I'd like to, but I need to center it over here. And that looks like enough clearance for that, so let's put the wall now. Make sure that we can... I'm going to use the lowest required belts for these, just to, in the interest of accuracy and saving on materials. Although if you're building these things, you kind of really need an abundance of materials, because the thing about this is this is only producing 0.4 heavy modular frames per minute, which the reason I did that is because I wanted to make it so I only needed one assembler per semi-complex item we needed. And for the modular frames, if you have this at at the maximum. I'm going to set it there. It wants 10 modular frames per minute. That's going to be a crazy number of assemblers that you have to cram in there. So I reduced it to 0.4 so that I only need one assembler making 2 modular frames per minute. So the idea is that each individual, black box, as I'm calling them, is going to make the frames very, very slowly. However, you can make as many of them as you want and have the materials for very quickly once you have the blueprint set up. So that's the rationale for that. Now, I've got the manufacturer set in there. I want to... Do I want to put the assemblers on the bottom floor? I think I can... Can I fit 3 assemblers on that bottom floor? Let's try. So we've got one assembler. I think this one's making the... I don't remember what it's making. Okay, that can line up nicely in there. Oh, we need... So when you're placing things in here, you don't want to have the... You don't necessarily want to have it totally flush with the edge, or like as far as it will go against the edge while still being blue, because now there's no room. Let me show you. There's no room to put a conveyor lift. What is this? I'm going to just make another copy of it. So I have found that you need at least... Is that at least 1 or at least 2? Let's try. Get that lined up. Okay, so this is 2 meters, I believe. Let's actually measure that. We can use a metal beam to measure that's 1 meter, 2 meters, and then that'll fit. So you need 2 meters from the edge of the blueprint designer to a port in order to be able to put a conveyor lift. Now a belt might be a different... no, you probably need that for just a regular belt too. Yeah. So try to keep 2 meters of clearance there. So I've got that, and I'm going to... Oh, we're using the lowest belts. So what's this making? 3 reinforced iron plates per minute. We can do a Mark 1 belt into there. All right, let's try and put the other 2 assemblers in. We're going to have... I believe this is the encased industrial beams, or whatever they are. I will go ahead and just kind of... Do I have room to make that? Yeah, I've got room to make that look relatively nice there. That's not clipping too hard. So these are the beams, 2 per minute. We barely need a belt for that. All right. And we've got the clearance. Oh, do we? Just barely. I don't like how that's slightly offset. Oops. Yeah, I'm really OCD about that kind of thing. Okay. There we go. Also, in case you didn't know, oops, you can, of course it says it in the UI, but a regular nudge is, I think, 2 meters, and then if you control nudge, it moves 1 meter. Or half a meter. Let me check. Half a meter, yeah. Okay. So keep that in mind for when you're making these super tight black boxes, because that does help, because that gives us a nice amount of clearance for the conveyor lifts. So make sure to put that belt back in there. All right, we got our encased industrial beams and our reinforced iron plates. So now we need to go get the, what was the last one? Ah, this one. This is actually making, what is it making? encased industrial beam, reinforced iron plate, and I'm making wait, shoot. All right, I need to put the modular frames there, not the reinforced iron plate. There we go. All right, I bring this over. And I think what I'll actually do is I will put, okay, modular frame, beams. I'll put the modular frame one next to the one that's making the reinforced iron plates so that they can just, one can just feed directly into the other really quick. Okay. So modular frame needs reinforced iron plates. The reinforced iron plates are here. How many is it making? 3. We can just use a regular belt. There we go. Now we don't, oh, we need that one. We can get rid of that. We don't need that one. All right. Make a copy of this, the encased industrial beams, and put it back in here. And that gives us room in between. All right. Now, get rid of that. Confirm that what we want to make is being made. Reinforced, modular, encased. All right. So we've put all the assemblers in. And it's tempting to remove the pieces from here as I put them in the blueprint, but that could lead to bad things. So I need to kind of keep track of what I'm working on. So the next thing, let's work on getting the steel pipes and concrete. No, because I'm using a splitter there. I want to do the simpler stuff first, I think. Let's see, smelter, iron rods. Let's do that. Let's do the iron rods without the smelter just yet. So that's going to go into the modular frame, which is this one here. And I think I can just, yeah, I could squeeze that right in there. And I probably need to use a conveyor lift to actually get it over there. Yeah, but that won't be a problem. And this is making 12 a minute, so we can use a very basic conveyor lift. So we want that over here, I believe. Yes, iron rod, conveyor lift, conveyor belt, and into there. There we go. So now that one is going to be receiving. Oh, that looks beautiful, actually. Now that I've kind of found a method to the madness, that's looking pretty nice. All right, so we've made the iron rods. Let's go ahead and just put in the one that's going to make screws. Although the question is, should I, because I'm going to need to make room for the smelters and the foundry. Well, I might actually just put them up in the air and then have a conveyor wall over here, like a 3-port conveyor wall, using lifts to bring the stuff up to the smelters and foundry. And then they can deliver the ingots down here. But this is not enough. Let's see, I've got, what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 constructors. It might actually be better for me to put most of the constructors on the second tier. For now, I'll just pack the one with the screws right next to here and see if I can make that work. I make sure got to make sure to leave space to be able to put conveyor lifts there. But for now, let's see, we're making like 48 screws, so we can use very basic conveyor lift again. 9. There we go, straight. Ah, nice. Ah, that looks nice. All right, so the last thing that we need to be able to get in here is the steel pipes. Okay, yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it to where, oops. The stuff that feeds directly into the manufacturer is all gonna be on the first floor, which includes this. And that's gonna be a very small amount of pipes, so basic conveyor lift. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. And then we should be able to just kind of snake a conveyor belt over here. Oh, hold on. What's going on here? Oh, is it backwards? Oh, no. One, 2, 3. 9. There we go. Should I curve it or make it straight? Kind of prefer it straight. There we go. All right. So this is going to feed in the steel pipes. Although we do need to have a splitter here because we do need to feed steel pipes somewhere else. So for now, I am going to go ahead and just put this splitter right here so that I hopefully don't forget about it. Screws are going in by themselves, no splitter. Okay, so we got the 4 ports. Oh. We got the 4 ports on the manufacturer full, and every machine that feeds directly into it is on the first tier. There's one machine that doesn't feed directly into it. I almost want to move that up for consistency, but I don't know if that's really necessary. So, that's getting fed. The 2 that aren't getting fed, the 2 assemblers that aren't getting fed are the ones that are reinforced iron plate and encased industrial beam. Let's work on the encased industrial beam because we've already got steel pipes in mind right now. So for that, we need a constructor that's doing concrete. And I think what I'm gonna do is start doing bad things. Bad things with the page up key. So to explain what is happening here in case that was kind of weird. So I copied the concrete constructor that I want. And now what I want to do is I want to put this constructor on top of this assembler. And I don't remember if I have to do this. So I'm locking the hologram. Okay, yeah. You have to find a place inside of the blueprint maker to lock your hologram because you can't just drag it in from the outside. So when it starts to get tight, it's kind of weird to find a spot. But right here should be okay. I locked the hologram. Now I'm using the nudge keys to get it moved into position. And what I want to do is I want to, if I can line, yeah, I can do that. Okay, I'm lining the output port up with the input port there. And make sure it's, sometimes it can, oh, I need to move it halfway. Yeah, I think then that's, I did a half meter movement there. So I think that should line up. So now it's red and I'm going to page up until it turns yellow. There we go. And now, how much are we making here? 10 per minute. That'll be a very basic lift. We connect this lift. Ooh, is that going to work? It tried to, but it didn't make the sound. It didn't make the sound that said, hey, I can make a connection here. I don't like that. That can be deceptive. Oh. Oh, nope, I did that wrong. Yeah, let's try that outside maybe. It's probably not necessary for me to be this picky about this, but I hate it when a lift looks like it has connected and it actually hasn't. Oh, I did that wrong. Although maybe... I can get that in there, but... Let's try this another way. Line it up. Is it actually... It is lined up. It's lined up perfectly there. No, it's not. It's not lined up vertically. It's very slightly offset. Let's try... Hold on. Let's try moving it up by half nudges until it turns yellow. Now it made the sound. Now it's connected. Okay. That was new. I actually had not figured that out before. So I'm glad I was doing this in this way without rehearsing it. Okay, so let's do that again inside the blueprint maker. Locking the hologram, bringing it over, lining them up, page down without control until it is... Okay, now get that back there. Half nudge to the right to line up the little things right there. All right, now half nudge up until it turns yellow. Mark 1 conveyor lift. It's not making the sound. Now that worked outside. Why isn't it working in here? No, that's not going to work at all. That's actually offset, isn't it? All right. I think maybe I'll have to do this another way. It'd be easier to just move the constructor back a couple of notches and just put a belt. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the way that I will be certain that it's actually connected. So that's a little disappointing that little experiment worked outside and then not inside, but that's all right. Move that back. Move it back another, yeah, one tick. And then let's do the half movements until it turns yellow again. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, what on earth? Maybe the half movements aren't a good idea. See, this is the level of iteration you have to go through in order to make these things. All right, pull that back by 1/2, and then pull it back another, and then page up until yellow. 0, put that up there. That looks a little bit more lined up, but it's still not lined up. What is going on? I guess I need full movements until it turns yellow again. Please work. Oh, it wanted to connect automatically. Did it actually though? That makes me a little nervous. I'm just gonna have to set this down somewhere as it is now and test that. That's what I'm gonna do. New blueprint. Where's my limestone? There it is. Layer splitter. Put this up here. Run that over there. Run some power over. Now, is that actually going to go down? No, that's not working. I didn't think it would. It's deceptive. All right, so I need to move it back further then. Let's move it back 2 notches this time. So the full movements were working. I hope I never accidentally had this backwards. That would screw it up. I don't think I did though. Even if I did, it's the way that they were lining up was really weird. All right, full movements up 1. Now move it back 2 notches. Let's do 3. I think that's enough to keep it from trying to do that weird auto connect thing. All right. Now, I know for sure that's going to work. All right. And it's slightly bent upwards. I don't like that, but that's just what we're going to have to deal with. All right, so we've got the concrete, and there's only one thing that the concrete goes into. So what I can do is just take care of that right now by putting the conveyor wall. And it's not a lot of concrete, I don't think. It's only 30 per minute, so yep, another 0 belt. All right. These are really weird. Sometimes it'll misbehave. All right. So what I want to do is just kind of, I think that'll be good enough. And surface is too uneven. What? Oh, I put the lift backwards. I hate that. Okay. Now I need to make sure the green arrows are going out. There we go. Now it should... Yeah, there we go. That actually wraps around there pretty nicely. It clips a little bit, but it still looks like it was done on purpose, you know? That's cool. All right, so we got the concrete coming in. And we don't have to worry about the concrete anymore, do we? Encased industrial beam. Right, okay, yeah, the pipes over here are split. So we need to get, yeah, the steel pipes are going from here into here. So the pipes, and we do need those there. I'm going to take this splitter off of here because we don't need it over here. We actually need it over here. Put the splitter here, and then we can put another lift. Oh, that's going to be a weird belt. That clips pretty hard. I could solve that by using a little bit of extra. I don't have to do this, but it makes it look a lot better. Use a little bit more materials, but that's all right. There we go. Now we've got the, oh God, that's curved. Now we've got all of the steel pipe needs being met. We've got going into manufacturer, into the encased beam thing. We've got the concrete. So all we need left for that is the foundry, which we will build later. Okay, so let me see where I am. We got steel pipes, we got screws. So for that, we're going to need just iron ingots, which means we need to build a foundry for this, a smelter for this. What does this need to be fed by? Iron plates and screws. Wait a minute. Am I? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got two machines doing screws. Good. I thought I was missing a machine for screws. All right, so we've got this. This machine is doing the screws for the manufacturer. No. Where? Feeding the iron rods into one of the things, and I've got the screws for the manufacturer being made. Oh, right over here. All right, we're good there. So we need now to worry about. Okay, that's just going to need a smelter attached. So smelter, foundry, smelter. I want to get to where the only thing I have left to build is smelters. And then I can just worry about those. And the foundry. So this needs to be fed by 2 constructors, which will then be fed by smelters. So these constructors, I am going to need to lift those up. In fact, I could just stack them on top of those constructors over there. All right, so this is the reinforced iron plate. Yeah. And that's going to be these 2 machines right here. All right, grab that one. And I don't really think I have to worry too much about, oh hell. That's getting blocked. I mean, I can clip through it if I really want to. Do I want to just lift this a little bit higher and let it float? Or do I want to put it on top of the other one and change? Actually, oh no, that would bother my OCD to have that not lined up. I can change the height of that lift over there. That's what I'll do. I'll just change the height of this to make it look a little nicer, because I am very pedantic like that. Yeah, that'll be just barely clearing that. Now, how do I get it over here without making it look horrible? It works. It's not super pretty, but it's not clipping all the way. I like how now I am actually worrying about aesthetics in these things, even though I said that I wasn't going to. But this is kind of like making it the equivalent of being human readable code. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So we've got the constructor that does the iron plates. I need to check a message real quick. Hang on. Oh. Okay. So we've got the iron plates. Now I want to make the screws. So I'll bring the screws over here and stack it on the other one. Kind of running out of space in the floor of this. Hell, it's not rotated correctly. I hope this is the screws. It's not. It's the plates. I didn't want to copy the power line. There we go. Now I got the screws. All right. Make sure it's rotated that way. There we go. Lock the hologram. Bring it over here. Stack it on top. Why is that? There we go. Okay. I had to nudge it down by 1/2 meter because of the way that the hologram started in here. Now, why is... Do I have to nudge it sideways 1/2 meter too? Wait. It's still off. It's still offset. Oh. What is happening? It's going to be offset no matter what I'm doing. I need to find... There we go. I've got a spot on the floor here where I can actually line it up properly. There we go. Line it up with that one. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So screws and iron plates. Oh, that's going to be a tight fit. And then that goes into this one down here, which we can... How many are we moving here? Not a lot. All right, we can use 2 of these. And just hopefully send... Ew. Oh, that is horrible. Third time's the charm, I hope. That's a lot better. All right. So all of the machines, all the assemblers are now being fed. Now it's time to make sure that all the constructors are fed by ingots. And in one case, concrete. And in one case, steel. So that means I got to put the smelters and the foundry on a level above. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close to the finish line, actually. I just want to go through and make sure that every port is being used. Yep, that looks like it. All we need is the smelters. That's going to be really weird getting Let's see, how are we going to get ore into here? I'm going to have to do ugly things with splitters. Oh, real ugly things. All right. So what I'm going to do is half move that. Oh, that's not going to leave any room for... I may need to move the wall. Unless I can cram that in there. Let me test. See, I'm worried about the amount of space that's between the splitter and the wall there. It'll technically fit. It's not pretty, but it'll fit. The issue is that I want to, would that work? I'm thinking of having two splitters in the middle here, each. Wait a minute, I can't even do that anyway because one of them needs steel. Yeah. So I need to get iron to the 3 of these and that one over there. And one thing that frustrates me about the vertical splitters is that they're really nice to have, but you can't just do this and have that there and actually have it work. I've tried. Well, actually, hold on. Am I making a liar out of myself here? Hold on. Can I lock that? Oh. Well, in this case, you can't because I would need to move it halfway. Let's try it. Actually, that may have worked. Huh. Yeah, that worked. All right, well. Okay. Okay, I think I have a plan. So, how many ingots are we going to be moving? We need to move 9. It's not going to be more than 60. Oh, it might be. I need 72 iron ore to power. 27, 9, 12, 12, 57, just barely. I can use Mark 1 lifts for that. So I'm gonna do that and have a splitter here. Oh, that is so ugly, but it works. It hopefully works. Iron plate. And then have another splitter. Is there room for... Ooh, I had forgotten that you can do that. Perfect. All right. So we're going to have the ore coming... No, we're going to have the ingots coming in from right there. And can I make this work? That's going to be extremely weird, but if it works. 9. No, that doesn't work. I have room for... Oh! I think what I can do is I don't know if there's enough room to twist that belt around that way. There is! And that's gonna clip through, but I don't... That's what I gotta do. Unless... Why didn't I think of this before? Remove that and just do this. that's probably going to be angry about. Well, let's just give that a try and see if it actually works. It works. All right. I was going to also try like looping one down from there and over there, but that's fine. Okay. So ingots are going in here and down into these three. And we also need ingots to go in there. So see, we're going to have a little bit of a balancing issue because of how these are being split. And I don't want to like double split to where one machine gets super starved. They're all going to be starved at the beginning, but so that splits that way and that way. And so what we could probably do here is actually just put a splitter here so that both branches are getting split evenly. And then we can bring it all the way over there. 9. Don't like that it has to bend like that, but I'm just gonna have to deal with that. All right. All we have left is to make the steel and the iron ore, or iron ingots. So, see, the way I had it set up over here was that I have the 3 smelters segregated from each other, which I shouldn't have done, because now I'm having to pack them all 3 right next to each other. And I don't know how that's going to affect the kind of load balancing that I had to do, but, well, the lack of load balancing, actually. But we'll just have to give it a try and see what happens. Actually, that's one smelter feeding the iron rods. Maybe we could just do that. Let's see, the iron rods are over here, aren't they? So I could put the smelter on the floor. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, that actually simplifies it a bit. Smelter. And then I just drag ore over here. There we go. And let's see, how can I do that? I've already got the concrete going. The ore. Let's bring the iron ore in the right, or well, the left, I guess. And maybe I'm actually going to use a higher grade of conveyor lift because I know that I'm using 72 iron ore. Let's put that all the way up here so that we definitely have like a whole tier reserved for the other smelters in the foundry. Then put a splitter, no, not that high, splitter here, and put a lift here, and bring that, ooh, that's ugly. Oh, that just barely wrapped around. Nice! All right. So that's that. Now we need 2 more smelters and a foundry. And we just need to bring the coal. Oh no. Ooh, that's going to be a tight fit. Is that going to work? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so this goes to okay, smelters. Not the power line. I'm running out of area to lock the hologram in. Okay, I want to bring it there. Okay. Now I'm going to just I can either just have them like floating really weird, or I can try to put them on top of something so that it looks slightly less insane. I think maybe right there, and then it'll at least like kind of look packed in. Let's see where. Okay, that ore needs, those ingots need to go there. Okay, that's the iron ore. So if I bring this over here, move it a little bit, I can use a lift and a splitter and then a merger to put it back over there. That is what I will do. And I think both of these smelters are doing the same amount of ingots, but I need to go check. Yeah, they are. My kingdom for a hologram lock. Come on. All right. Okay, splitter. I want the splitter on the floor so I can lock it properly. I think I oriented it wrong. All right, I need, yeah. Okay. Bring it on over. Perfect. Oh, that's gonna clip really badly through there. Ah, that's just enough room. All right. Now I can use the splitter as a place to lock another splitter. No, don't. There we go. Lock. There we go. Okay. If we've only got 20, okay, we can use the basic belts here. Lift, and then receive from the iron ore, and then we need mergers. Oh, I don't have that oriented properly. I want it to go that way. Yeah, H down. Bring this over here. H down, bring that over there. And then put the belts through. And then we get a conveyor lift and we put it over here. And that really looks weird. So let's make the lift a little bit less high. It might just have to look weird. I don't know. Ugh. Oh, that looks a little better. All right. So now we've got the smelters. We've got all 3 smelters in place. That means the only building we have left is the foundry, which is right there. Now, I think I'm going to maybe put the foundry, let's see, where do we need to put the steel? We need to put the steel in here. And is there anywhere else we need to put it? I think... No, I don't think there is, because we're only making steel pipes. So... I've got a disgusting idea of how I could do this. Maybe put the foundry on top of the manufacturer. Like that. And then, how much are we making? 30. We do this, bring it down here, and then loop it around. Oh, geez. I hate it when I do that. That actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. It clips a little bit, but hey, it gets through there. All right. And now all we need to do is bring... Oh no. Oh, I might be able to put a splitter here. Well, even if I can't do that, I can force a splitter by doing this. Do I need to... No, that looks like it's pretty lined up. Yeah. Okay. So I should be able to put this in here and then let that go over there. And then bring the rest of the iron ore over here. We only need 30, so we only need this kind of lift. Oh, I just realized that I could do something really cool. All right. Bring that there, and that there. And then what I'm going to do is actually lengthen the coal lift. Bring that up, and then I can lift this up. Shoot. It's hard to tell from some angles if two lifts are lined up with each other. But anyway, there we go. Relatively straight line over there. All right. I think it's done. So now all we got to do is test it. Oh, I need to hook up the power. This is going to be a lot of machines to hook up power to. So I'm going to go ahead and put in one wall and a ceiling. I don't put all the walls on until I'm actually fully finished with it, so that I can have room to work. Let's get a ceiling in. And normally I would use the lowest available outlets, just you know, because my goal is to be minimalist with these things, but I'm going to go ahead and use an outlet Mark II because that'll just make it nicer. Let's go ahead and put we'll start with 6 of them. And then hook one up to the wall right next to... I kind of standardized how I did this. I put one next to the where the conveyors come in, so that I always know where to attach the power. What I do is I put an inside one that's not a double, because you can't put a double on the edge of a blueprint, which is really frustrating. So I place the blueprint, and then I just in the world make another single on the other side of the wall, and I clip the power line through the wall. Basically the same result. Sometimes you can see the power line a little bit, but given the design that we're working with, we're not super worried about a little bit of clipping. Make sure to hook all of these to at least one other so that we have power in all of them, and now we can just kind of indiscriminately drag it to wherever it will go. Sometimes I try to kind of have sections, but with these designs, sections are sort of a fantasy. The only real rule I use here is that I need to fill up a power node before I'm allowed to move on to the next one, no matter how weird the line is. I hate that it's so difficult to lock on. There we go. Okay. Come on. Actually, it might be easier to just do this. There we go. I think that's pretty much everything. All right, it's time to save this. And I'll actually 0.4 heavy. Save blueprint. All right, now I will disconnect all of the lines that I made for the test area and put this down. Let's see what happens. That's awesome. And then what I do here is, like I said, I put a single on the outside and then I just clip it through to this one here. So now I will run. So this is iron ore. I'm just going to use the strongest belts. Iron ore was in this center, I think. No. Coal was in the center. Okay, I'm glad I checked that. Iron ore is on the right. Coal is in the center, and then limestone is on the other side. I'm getting right and left confused here. Limestone, coal, and let's see if it works. It's going to take a while for all this stuff to get through here. I wish it wasn't nighttime so that we could really see what's going on. I think something might have gone wrong over there. Most of the stuff looks like it's working, but it looks like maybe this constructor isn't getting anything. Oh, what happened there? It's trying to. Okay, now it's going down there. I need to check that in the original design. I wonder why that didn't take properly. Oh, it was kind of like clipping out. Okay. Let's redo that. Maybe that fixed it, but that's something I'll have to keep an eye on in my future placements of this blueprint. But so far, that's the only problem I'm seeing. Why aren't we getting any screws delivered yet? That's a little bit concerning. Let's see, the one that's making the screws is somewhere. Oh, it's oh. Oh, wait a minute. That's not, is it not getting anything? Or is it just getting things slowly? Oh, it seems like it's not actually getting any ingots delivered to it because of the splitter. That's bizarre. Oh. Well, that'll do it. What in the world happened there? All right. Okay, it's going through. Now, let's see if this is receiving anything. Okay, that's now receiving things, and that's now receiving things. So that's good. So I fixed that, but that was weird. Oh yeah, I also got to put a splitter back up here, I think. Yeah, I do. Oh, that was the same one that was having problems too with Now where's that coming from? There. Splitter. Put this one over here, and then that there. Hopefully that'll do properly here. So that's going down there, and then there's some going over there. Does it go down? Yes, that's good. Does this go all the way down? Looks like it does. Is it going in here? Yes. All right. So I need to go over here and fix that on the blueprint again. Take this splitter out, remove that, take that away, remove this and that. And then bring this back up here. We line that up again. Put a splitter. There we go. Another splitter here. And 9. Oh, come on. Oh, that's temperamental. That doesn't like that for some reason. Now, the issue is, does doing that actually, like, screw it up? Let's redo it from the top. Splitter. Ah, I see. I see what happened. So, there we go. 9. That's in there. Now we put this here. That looks like it's okay. There we go. All right. Hopefully I fixed that. The issue was that for some reason this splitter was like, it was concealing as a spot where it had turned into this. Like it had turned into its own lift inside of there. And this part was completely separated. I don't know how that happened, but hopefully I fixed it. Okay, so that's 2 bugs taken out. All right, the manufacturer is now getting everything it needs. It's not getting everything it needs as fast as it needs it yet. But the fact that we've gotten all the stuff to actually come into it is good. Now what I'm going to do is actually deconstruct this version because I want to put down the new blueprint that I have. I don't know why my blueprints keep getting all this extra left behind. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's just a consequence of the weird way that I'm doing things. But now that I've made some tweaks to the blueprint, I want to redo it here and see what happens. All right. Limestone. Yeah, coal was the middle, iron ore is the left, limestone is the right. And I am out of turbo fuel. I thought that my jetpack was acting weird. I was like, what? Now, what did I just do there? Okay, iron ore to the left. I wish I could remember that properly. Coal to the middle, limestone to the right. All right. And now we put some power in it. Let's see what happens. And now it's daytime, so we can watch it a little more easily. So iron ore is going into this smelter, which is then going to go to the iron rods. Iron ore is also going up to these 2 smelters. Are they both making? Yes, they are. Good. That's getting passed through there. And hopefully these will actually go down in there. Good, good, good. I fixed that. Now hopefully these will both be going all the way to the bottom. Is it not doing it? Yes! Good! Alright! Alright, the screws is getting ingots. That one's getting ingots. So after we've gone for a little bit, we should be getting everything delivered to the manufacturer that we need. But it's going to take a minute to spin up. Let's see. Got. Oh, I hope that you get screws soon. Steel pipes are working. You are, oh, okay, okay, good. The screws are coming to that one, just like I wanted. Okay, that's running, and then soon that's going to be running. We're going to have modular frames soon. And we've got our encased industrial beams being made. What has it gotten so far? It's gotten screws and pipes so far. So we just need modular frames and industrial beams. We've got one coming in. Reinforced iron plates are being a little bit slow, but that's all right. We will get there. Yeah, that's the other kind of disadvantage of this, is that it does require a very long spin up time before it starts actually building these. But given that you can just plop it down and leave it, you don't have to. Once you confirm that everything is working the way that it's intended to with the blueprint, you know that further copies of that blueprint are going to work. So you can just put a bunch of them down and leave them. And then you'll start getting your frames, in like half an hour or so, I don't know. Almost got some modular frames made. A little more industrial beams. And once a modular frame gets in here, we'll know that it's working. Come on, make it. Very slow. That is cool to see all that moving around, though, isn't it? And another thing you can do is that if you want to, if you want to sort of front load some frames when you're first starting to make them, you can just plug some summer sloops in there, and that'll double your output. As long as you put them in the manufacturer, then that doubles the output without having to use more materials. It just uses a lot more electricity. So that's something you can do. But you'll want to pull the summer sloops out once you've gotten enough of whatever you're making to, kind of have stored in your storage depot. There we go, modular frames. So all the stuff that we need to get in the manufacturer is coming to the manufacturer. Slowly right now, but it is coming, which means that this blueprint is a success. We have stuffed heavy modular frames into, I think could I have done that in a 4x4? There's still a lot of space left. That might be a project for another time. But we did it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the walls on this and polish it up a little bit. But I have proven that it works. And that is my process for doing these hideous spawn, like brain spawn of mine. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was helpful. I know that was a very long video, but I figured that really explaining these properly, I couldn't really do it in any short of a time. But I enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching.